Hear me out. I know there are tons of videos out there on this topic. I've watched a bunch myself. They're packed with great insights, no doubt about it. But in this video, I want to take things a step further. I'm not just repeating the same advice, I'm adding something fresh and even more valuable. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're putting in more effort than anyone else, but still not seeing the results you hoped for? Maybe you've been super disciplined, followed all the advice, pushed through every obstacle, and yet something just isn't clicking. I get it. I've been there too. I remember spending countless hours on a project, convinced it would change everything, only to end up feeling stuck and frustrated. Sound familiar? If it does, stick around till the end because I've got 5 actionable frameworks to share it with you. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. We've all heard it before. If you want something bad enough, just push through. Discipline, they say, is the key to everything. But here's the issue. Discipline alone often feels like forcing a square peg into a round hole. It's like trying to swim upstream every single day. Sure, discipline matters, but relying on it exclusively can leave you drained and demotivated, especially if you're working on something that doesn't align with who you are. That's a lesson I had to learn the hard way. The truth is, success doesn't have to feel like a constant battle. The key lies in understanding and harnessing your natural talents. These are the traits and tendencies that come effortlessly to you. For instance, I once met a friend who had an uncanny ability to organize chaos. They turned that into a thriving career as an event planner. It wasn't about discipline, it was about leaning into what came naturally. When you align your work with your strengths, everything feels easier and discipline becomes a tool, not the engine. Here's where it gets interesting. Even the traits you might think of as flaws can be incredible assets in the right context. Take stubbornness, for example. It's often seen as a negative, but if you channel that into persistence, it can help you excel in roles that require grit and determination. Similarly, being overly cautious might seem like a hindrance, but it's a superpower if you're in a field like risk assessment or financial planning. The trick is finding the right fit for your traits. If you're not sure what your talents are, don't worry, most people don't realize them right away. Start by reflecting on what you enjoy and what others have complimented you on. Think about the tasks that make you lose track of time or the things you've always been naturally curious about. Tools like personality tests or a simple journaling exercise can also help. Write down moments when you felt most alive or accomplished and look for patterns. These clues will point you to your strengths. Once you've identified your strengths, the next step is finding ways to use them productively. For example, a friend of mine always had a knack for storytelling. She would captivate us with tales even when we were kids. She turned that gift into a career as a content creator, crafting engaging narratives for brands. The key is to pair your strengths with tasks or opportunities that let you shine. Ask yourself, where does my natural inclination meet a need in the world? That's where your potential lies. When you start leveraging your strengths, something amazing happens. Progress feels natural, and you begin to see results faster. Those results bring compliments and validation, which motivate you to keep going. This is what I call the positive feedback loop. For instance, a former colleague of mine was great at organizing team workflows. As people praised her efficiency, she leaned into that skill even more, eventually becoming a project manager. Success breeds confidence, and confidence makes the journey enjoyable. Let's be clear, discipline still plays an important role. It's what helps you stay consistent and improve over time. But when your efforts align with your strengths, discipline feels less like a battle. Take the story of a marathon runner I met once. He wasn't naturally fast, but he loved the rhythm of long-distance running and how it helped him focus. Because it resonated with him, staying disciplined in training wasn't a chore, it was a joy. That's the kind of discipline you want, one fueled by passion and purpose. And now, here are the 5 frameworks to get you started. Number 1, identify your natural traits. Think about what you enjoy, what feels effortless, and what you've been complimented on. Number 2, find matching opportunities. Look for roles, hobbies, or tasks where your strengths can solve problems or meet needs. Number 3, start small. Test your strengths in a low-stakes environment. Volunteer, take on a side project, or experiment with new approaches. Number 4, refine and repeat. Use feedback to refine your focus and double down on what works. And number 5, use discipline as a tool. Let discipline support your strengths, not replace them. Here's the secret. The most successful people aren't grinding away at things that don't suit them. They've designed their lives to focus on their strengths. Imagine what your life would look like if you did the same. Instead of fighting against the current, you'd flow with it, working smarter, not harder. So take a moment today to reflect on your talents. Think about how you can align them with your goals. When you do, success won't just be a possibility, it'll feel like a natural outcome.